getting recorded, and there'll be a transcript as well. All right, Luis, take it away.
Welcome, guys. Thank you so much. Like Tam said, we really appreciate you guys having being here today, uh, and just being present with us today. Uh, we understand it's kind of like a tough time to be in the discussion since everyone's on break and we kind of have our brains shut off. I know some students are taking some winter courses, others are working a lot during the winter, but we appreciate you guys coming through, um, being here today with us. And at the end of the day, you guys are helping out a lot of your campuses and being student leaders. And that's what it's all for, you know. I guess the main goal, I want to reiterate, the main goal at the end of the day is to come up with solutions, and the survey and the bylaws at the end of the day is going to be hopefully for the benefit of the students. So uh, having that goal in mind, I think is important as we go through this. And yeah, we're not getting paid for this, but I believe that this work that we're potentially going to put in is not going to only serve as well to ourselves, but for future students on the line. So uh, I think that's very rewarding. So with that being said, I think I'm just going to do a little call for the quorum. We don't have quorum, so um, Tam, do you think that we can just go through the list of people present here and just
Yeah, why don't you have everybody just go around and state their name and their campus? We'll do that.
Perfect, that works.
Yeah.
So if we want to go around, um, Dakota, you seem like the first one in my screen to be there, so you can start, and then we can go down the line.
Hello, I'm Dakota Lawson, and I'm from CT State Northwestern in Winstead, Connecticut.
Yes, sir.
Connecticut, yeah.
Thank you, Dakota. I think Pierce, you're next.
Hi, yes, I'm present. My name is Pierce, and I'm a representative for Southern Connecticut State University.
Thank you, Pierce. I see Jaleel.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Jaleel Harris, and I'm a representative for Gateway Community College.
Thank you, Jaleel. Donna.
Donna Wagner. I'm representing Charter Oak State College, and I live in Florida.
Awesome. Thank you, Donna. Aaliyah, I know she's part of Central, just like me. She's here hearing for the SLD office. So, Aaliyah, you can go ahead and introduce yourself. She's just here kind of listen to the conversation and see where we can fit in Central's efforts to have potentially a spring SGA meeting for all the SGAs. So we're trying to see where we can both collaborate and joint efforts to have a cohesive conference for student leaders across the campus. So go ahead, Aaliyah.
Yeah, so like you said, my name is Aaliyah. I am one of the SELD advisors for SGA here at Central's campus. So yeah, we're definitely working a lot on just trying to get more of our CT SGAs together just to kind of talk about how to best serve students. So
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, Aaliyah.
Cheyenne.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Cheyenne, Madam Vice Chair. I go to CT State as Nantuck in Enfield. Aaliyah, thank you so much for coming, as well as everybody else. It's a Friday. You could have been sleeping, going to work, but you chose to be here, so I really appreciate you. Sidebar, Aaliyah, I'm coming to CCSU's SGA.
Awesome. And then I see Michelle. I don't know if she has her mic on.
She's having trouble with her mic and camera.
Perfect.
And then Nia, I think, is your last, right?
Yeah.
Nia?
Yeah, we got Nia.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Nia. I'm from Naugatuck Valley in Waterbury.
Awesome. Thank you, Nia. All right. Thank you so much again, guys, for being here. As you guys know, you know the SAC standards and expectations. Cheyenne, if you want to touch a little bit on it, we can briefly touch on it. But since we don't have quorum, I guess I wanted to shift our conversation directly to the two big items in our agenda, so we can get the conversation started and rolling. So that way we can get started with this. If you guys have noticed, thank to work a little bit, not as fast as we would like due to the nature of the meetings. Since we meet only once a month, we really have to get a lot of the details down while we're working on this during that one meeting that we have a month. So Cheyenne and I were conversating, and we were thinking like, it's very inefficient to get anything done in a period from a meeting to a meeting. So we were wondering if once we form the committees, if between those two meetings throughout the month, we're thinking of creating a group chat for the whole student advisory committee. So that way there's more communication and we can diligently utilize all of our efforts to complete our goal down the line. So I believe that if we're able to do that, we can accomplish a lot of these goals and potentially even more. And I think that's a plus. So with that being said, we can start with the bylaw revision and discussion. And I know Cheyenne, you were gonna touch a little bit about like the bylaws and kind of how you wanted to format this committee. The way we were thinking was that we were thinking of forming two committees, one for bylaws and one for the survey, potentially splitting the SGA, the Student Advisory Committee, in half. That way we can both groups just fully focus on achieving the goal, which is the survey, and making sure that the bylaw is updated. So Cheyenne, if you want to touch a little bit about the bylaws, and then we can get the conversation started.
Sure, I definitely can. Do we still need to review expectations and standards, or is it clear? I'm pretty sure everybody was at the first couple meetings, but if not, we could jump immediately into bylaws.
Yeah, I think we can. Since we don't have quorum in the agenda, everyone will be able to see kind of like our core values. If you want to touch a little bit briefly on it, you can.
Sure, I can. So, hi everybody, once again. So, our expectations and our standards, the acronym, it's respect, recognize, responsibility, empathy, equity, exploration, sensitivity, speaking one at a time, one voice, one mic, perspective, patience, being engaged, collaboration, trust, and time. These are, some of the words that we all came up with as a collective. If you think that we should add anything else or anything should be tweaked, please let us know. But this is what we all agreed on as of right now. So transitioning into bylaws, this is a big discussion for SAC because our bylaws are currently outdated. Correct me if I'm wrong. The version that I saw online, Tam and Louise, said 2018, but I think the last time it was touched was 2013. So regardless, it's 2025, so we have to get it up to date, get it up to speed, really look at all the technical things that are going on to ensure that, it really works for SAC and that, it makes sense. So as Luis stated, I will be, the lead for the bylaw committees, and he will be the lead for the survey committee. And, we would like to, between everyone here, divvy up and, find interests, who's interested in doing what and joining what committee, so the bylaws can be updated. The bylaw document, the one that I viewed, was only 5 pages long. Am I correct, Tamara? I saw one that was 5 pages. Yeah, so it's not like it's a million pages. It's not like a big history paper. It's only 5 pages long.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty. What we'll do after this meeting is we'll resend the bylaws to everyone, so everyone has them available and can revise them as well. It's a 5-page read. It can be a little bit tedious due to some of the wording, but I think it's important everyone's kind of like aware. Okay, like even like CT State is not stated as a its current name, and there's all other different discrepancies from way back then how things were done. So we're hoping to update them and make sure that we can create a foundation that 1-2 years from now, the Student Advisory Committee, it's successful and thriving. with the student leaders coming in, as well as the things that they're able to accomplish. So this is a very important task, as in a way, this will set the foundation for 5 to 6 years from now of how things are going to be done in the student advisory committee. So I think it's not always you get to update the bylaws, especially in a committee serving a bunch of institutions across the state. So it's a pretty cool task to be part of. And you got anything else you want to mention about the bylaws, Cheyenne?
So I wanted to, like, take a temperature check. Are there any wordsmiths in the room? Anyone who likes reading? So I can, like, start to write down names. Thank you, Pierce. Who
Yeah,
would be interested on being on the committee? And going back to what Luis says, this is going to set the precedent for SAC, for 5+ years from now. And we know that this is not paid work, but you all have a seat at the table. You all have a voice. We value your voice. So, you guys should feel honored that you guys have, the capability and, the what's the word? I can't find it. The opportunity to do this, because, so often lawmakers, legislators, leaders who are, older than us, who have no idea what we go through, make, laws and stuff that impact us. But, we have the power and the potential to, help students out by, incorporating our voice into this.
100%. And I think, like, it's important to highlight that, like, the SAC committee in itself serves as a voice to the Board of Regents, and the Board of Regents is the governing body that sets the policies for the rest of the system across the state. So with that in mind, you see the importance of us making sure that we advocate for our students, making sure that we come here and then we can give our voice to Cheyenne and I, and even yourselves. If you're putting in the work, you're helping us out a lot. You guys are gonna get the credit, and I think that this is a perfect opportunity to highlight your skills at a state level. So, like we said, it's gonna be pretty cool to get to work on this. So I saw Jaleel and Michelle had their hands up. So, Jaleel, if you want to say something.
Oh no, it's really nothing. I was just trying to say that I would like to take part of the bylaw committee.
Thank you. You're the best. I appreciate you all. So far I have Pierce, Donna, and Jaleel.
Yeah, and then I saw Michelle Rentz had her hand
Michelle
up.
too. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, hi guys. Yeah. I just wanted to raise my hand for that as well. I would love to do that. I love to read, write, and just be creative, honestly. Yeah, thank you guys so much for the opportunity.
No, thank you guys for
Thank you.
the willingness.
I just put the link from the Board of Regents website with the bylaws. I have the Word version that I sent to Cheyenne and Luis, and that'll be easier for you to use than a PDF version. So we'll get you the Word document. The other piece of this is we have Pam Helene, who is she's the administrator for the Board of Regents. So she works with all the regents and she does all the meeting scheduling and all that. And she's also another resource for helping us to rewrite bylaws. She has done all the bylaw rewrites for the overall Board of Regents too. So we can also fold her in for some guidance. She's already given me some suggestions on things that need to be changed, looked at. She said first quorum should be looked at by the students, then your election and how your elections run. And then there's a couple other things like language related to CT State. So there's a few things that need to change, but if there's substantive changes beyond that you are all looking at that you think would be helpful, that is a different change, and then it has to go before the board for final approval. So there's a whole process to it, but if we can get it over a couple meetings or the next couple of meetings and really start working on it. So if you want to set up a time in between now and then with Pam and the board administrator to do some work on it virtually, I can help with that. And Luis and Cheyenne can help with getting that set up.
100%.
Because she's a great resource for this, her and Cheryl. Thank you. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No problem. And the cool thing that we have currently is that we possess the resources from the system office to be able to do this work as well. So like Tam mentioned, we have Pam and a bunch of people within the system office that we can outreach, get their ideas, their input, and even their expertise, and make sure that we have a concise and very good bylaw that can be presented and amended and presented to the board eventually to get approval. As long as we do a good job of making sure that we're getting some good bylaws, I don't see there being an issue getting through the board. But it's like anything in life, guys. We get how much we put in. So if we put in a lot of work and effort and we make sure that this is a really good bylaw, then I'm sure later on those results are gonna show. So awesome, guys. Thank you guys for your participation.
Yes.
Really appreciate it. Anything else you want to mention, Cheyenne?
I'm looking at the chat. Nia dropped a question a couple minutes ago. I don't know if it got answered. She said, "Will these communities be having meetings outside of our scheduled monthly ones?" And the answer is yes. We don't want to. We understand, life happens. Everyone has something that they're doing. We're all in school. We all have families. We all work. But if we can commit to meeting at least once or twice, having a fun Friday virtually, maybe in the evening, or Sunday fun day where we all can connect.
Yeah, that's not why I'm asking, because I'm trying to see if it's going to be scheduled, because I have other commitments and I don't want
Yes,
to
it'll be
make a
scheduled ahead of
commitment.
time.
Yeah, but could they when I say scheduled, I mean could they be the same ones, same time, not by a month to
Sporadic.
month type of thing?
Yeah.
And do we have that in mind? Is that going to be settled today so I could make a commitment to either one of the committees before waiting to the next scheduled meeting? That's what I'm asking.
I would recommend those that have signed up to do that, putting forth the best days and times for a meeting and scheduling a meeting maybe a week or two out where you start that conversation and you all take this next week to kind of look at the bylaws, see what you think needs to get edited, fixed, or, mitigated from your perspective. And then you come back together with your notes to start working on it. And
that's what
then
I'm
you
asking.
all then meet together. And then after you meet, then I maybe connect you with Pam for the further guidance. So that way you are reviewing it as a student team first and you're giving your input, because I don't want someone from our team or the office to say, this is what you should do. I want the voice to be from the students up, because it's your bylaws and it's governing your body. And I want to make sure that it's your voices that are at the table. We'll give whatever guidance you want, but I want it to be you're all working on it together first and putting bylaws in place that support the work that you're doing. Does that make sense? Is that helpful or not helpful?
Yeah.
For my question, no.
Okay. Give me more, Nia.
That's why it was more towards the committee leaders, which is Louis and Cheyenne. So I wasn't even about to that level yet. I'm looking to see about scheduling with them for their separate meetings to then have them come together to then for the presentation. That's what I'm asking.
So
thank you. Sorry, Nia, for getting ahead of everything.
I think Nia, I know what you mean. So this is my perspective, right? So we're getting the details now. This is what this discussion was all about, to kind of get an idea of okay, so for example, Nia, she needs to have the schedule put out, that way she can commit to that time and have an idea 2 weeks in advance that, okay, hey, I have this meeting here, I can commit to it.
Not right? 2 weeks. That's why I'm saying, I'm not going to lie, my schedule, my next semester is jam-packed. So, and I want to be a part of it. And I don't want to just be a part of this. So that's why I'm saying 2 weeks is not enough. Honestly, a month is not enough. I'm trying to, because I also work. And then I have, I'm volunteering. And that's why I'm saying
100% agree.
I'm looking for, that's why I'm saying, even with the schedules, could they be on the same, this is the schedule. We're meeting Monday nights at such and such a time, and this on once a month or every 2 weeks. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I'm throwing out there.
Yeah.
Because I know that I can't. It's just I'm on I'm on 3 other clubs, and I don't have an idea when they're meeting yet. So it's
I agree. So that's why I think it's important to unfortunately, I don't think we can we once the committees are established, I think we can better come up with a date that majority of people know, okay, we can all commit to this day, and then we stick to that day. So right now, as we're forming the committees, I don't want to give you a date, be like, okay, we're gonna meet in this exact date, because like, what
I
if
mean,
like
but we're all here and we're gonna separate. Can we just figure like that's? I mean, someone even asked that too. In the
Yeah,
How
chat.
about
Donna
this?
asked
How
it,
about
but
this? Why doesn't the group that has signed up to work on those committees pick their next meeting together to do planning? And then Luis and Cheyenne can email the students that are not here. And if they could not make the meeting, but they want to join this committee, they can join that meeting.
yeah, that works.
Because then you're opening it up to those that are not here. Does that make sense? And it doesn't slow the work down, and it doesn't slow down working on the bylaws. So the team that has agreed to work on bylaws, boom, let's pick a time now. And then we do a full invite to those that could not make the meeting to ask which committee they want to join. And this is the next meeting if you want to join this committee.
Yeah,
That work? Okay.
Yeah, so
fair
Cheyenne,
enough.
if you want to pick a date that works, so Nia, do you have an idea which committee you're interested in?
I didn't even hear about your committee yet. If that's why when
Mhm.
we kind of passed over it, I wasn't here. I started the last meeting and that wasn't our meeting. That was the other meeting. That was more with Chancellor Chang.
Yeah.
So we didn't really have a time to have it. So I'm like, what is happening?
Okay. Well,
Okay,
before
perfect.
we go forward, Luis, I'm gonna pass it back to you so you could talk about the survey.
Yeah, 100%. So let me pull this agenda up in my paper. Give me 1 second. So the idea with the survey, I've been in the SAC for the last year to two, and I've noticed that like there's a lot of overlapping like needs across the campuses. So our objective with the survey is going to be like surveying the student needs, the wraparound services the student utilize across the campuses to see if they're meeting their needs for them to be successful, and how those wraparound services are affecting or improving their graduation rates at the universities. I think that with this survey, we'll be able to gather data that will help us better utilize our resources later on to tackle problems that truly affect students. So once we have the data available from the surveys, we'll be able to like determine like, okay, majority of universities are struggling a lot with potentially, this is just an example, like food insecurity, or they're struggling a lot with they can't afford their books. So how about we come up with ideas to solve those issues from the root, to make sure that those issues are taken care of later on. So I think that's why it's so important to gather that data, so that way we have a better idea of where to tackle and put our efforts in moving forward. So with the survey,
Let me talk a little bit about survey development and the process with IRB and various things with the system. So we need the students to figure out what questions you want to ask other students. Then once we figure out the questions, we have a team in the system office that helps with survey development and building, and they would help us to build that. And then we have to just get that approved if it's being done system-wide, which is IRB, which is Institutional Review Board. And we have to get it approved if we're doing any kind of research or surveying with students. So first and foremost, this committee is going to work on picking questions and topics that you as a team feel students want more. We want more information on students and what they're receiving and not receiving on their campuses. So it could be a range of things. It could be modality. It could be, modalities of classes. It could be food insecurity. It could be housing. It could be transportation. It could be class schedules. There's so many things that impact students, tutoring services, mental health and wellness, disability services. So we don't want the survey to be too long, but we really want to start asking the students what is working and what is not working on their campuses so that we can better meet those needs and also put budgeted money towards the services that students need more of. And that's the intention for the survey. But the students' responsibility in this is to develop what subjects and questions they feel is necessary to ask their fellow students.
And so once we go through those steps, this will be launched system-wide. So all the community colleges and all the state universities. And we're also looking to have some incentives. When we presented this idea to the board, they agree that incentives would be necessary. So we just have to narrow down exactly the list of the items that we think would incentivize students to take the survey. Because we do realize that surveys can be kind of tedious, and not a lot of students are going to be like, oh my God, there's a survey, let me go do it. So that's why we foresaw that potentially being an issue. So we decided to potentially utilize a survey. So that's kind of where we're at with the survey committee. Definitely want to get the conversation started and the committee started, so that way we can start narrowing down the subjects as well as the questions, and that way we can get through the institutional advancement office at the system office, so that way we can get this out potentially halfway through the semester. That's what I'm hoping and shooting for and visionizing for it. So we definitely have two big important tasks ahead of us. And I think that if we are able to be successful with these two tests, we'll be able to set up pretty good foundation for potentially the next year and the following year as well. So anything else, Cheyenne or Tam, do you want to ask that I missed potentially?
I think you covered all the spots. You mentioned the incentives, the IRB process, the board.
Yeah.
I think you got it.
Perfect. So is anyone interested in potentially of doing the survey? Dakota, awesome. And the people that are not gonna be here currently, I'm gonna send an email out sometime today or beginning of next week, asking them, hey, here's the two committees that we have formed. Which one do you want to be part of? Hopefully we can kind of evenly have the two groups kind of set up as well. I do see in the chat someone said, can we just pick the day and time now? Perfect. So we'll get started with that. That way we can. So Cheyenne, do you have an idea of like when you want to meet with a committee?
Sure. So very similar to Nia. My life is all over the place with school.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel you on that 100%. I
100%.
sympathize with you. So personally, Thursdays, Fridays, or Saturdays work for me. Well, so Pierce, Donna, Jaleel, Michelle, do you have a preference as to which day would work? Thursday, Friday through Saturday? Do you want to meet during the day? Do you want to meet in the evening? I can be flexible with those days.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Days or evenings is fine with me on Friday and Saturday, right? That was what you're saying? Either one or two is great. I could do it.
Okay.
I more prefer evenings on Fridays, but Saturday the whole day is free. So yeah, anything that works for the group though. So.
Perfect. Donna, how about you?
I'm good for Thursday night, Friday night, and can be more flexible on Saturday depends on what time of the day Saturday that you want to start.
Got it.
And I assume
Pierce?
this is really not going to take that long because, like you said, there's
No.
only 5 pages. It should really
Right.
only take us. I mean, we just revised our bylaws and it literally took us 2 meetings and it was done. There's not a whole lot to do other than cleaning up language, it sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much. Thank you. Pierce, how about you?
Yeah, so my preference is actually going to be a little earlier in the week, but I'm willing to compromise on Thursday evenings.
Thursday?
I want to avoid Fridays and Saturdays. It's like Saturday's my time off, and Friday everyone's kind of like tired, and I do want the bylaws to come out nicely. So I think a proper weekday that's not the end of the week would be better for all of us.
Understood. Michelle, do you have a preference? If you can't talk, please you can drop in the chat.
No, my mic is doing better now. I don't know what's wrong with my camera. I just try to turn it on, but it's like it's on, but it's not on. I don't know what's going on. But Thursdays through Saturdays are fine, or during the week. My school week will probably be a little bit jam-packed, but I can move things around. Yeah. So during the week, weekends, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm looking at the calendar for January, and I wrote down everyone's response on my notebook. So I'll give, us two options for January. How's Thursday the 23rd or Thursday the 30th in the evening?
Both of those are fine. It sounded like we all kind of landed on Thursday would work for us.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, so Thursday evening on both of those dates is fine. I mean, I'd even be up for the 16th because we don't have classes starting again till the 21st, but you guys might have a different schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pierce, do you want to add?
Yeah, my only request for the evening meeting is, can it be either from 4 to 5 or sometime after 6? I have an obligation at Thursday in the evening, but it's only from 5 to 6.
So you said from either 4 to 5 or after 6?
Yeah, like basically I mean, we're not going to do midnight meetings, but like
No.
I'm very open. I'm very open on Thursday nights except for that 1 hour.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, I'll look at that like just after that time too, because I am doing something before that I have an internship. So yeah, most definitely after that time.
Awesome. Thanks, Julia.
Okay, so how about we do a check-in Thursday, January 23rd at like 7 p.m.
That works for me.
Yeah. Is it possible we can move it up, like to the 16th, or like?
Or do you guys want to do the 16th to keep things fresh in the mind?
Yep, sooner the better, because it sounds
that's
like
what I'm
once we get it rolling,
That's
we still
awesome.
have to meet with
Okay.
somebody from the regents, and then they still have to approve it. So I think the sooner we can get it rolling, the better. If we're all available, why not?
Yeah, I agree. Plus, right before school, there's not a lot of commitments. I agree.
Okay, so the 16th, I have something in the evening. So would you guys want to meet earlier then, like 4 to 5?
Pierce
Or
just
is
said he
that-
couldn't do 4 to 5.
Oh, you can't?
It's looking, yeah, my next week, ironically, is a little busier and my Thursday wouldn't work.
Okay.
I do apologize for that.
So how about during the day on the 16th, or is that completely not
Basically all of Thursday, yeah.
for that particular Thursday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 16th.
Yeah, it's okay if we can't move it up any closer. The 23rd is fine with me.
Yeah, if we have to keep it the 23rd, that's fine. And even if we could do it a little earlier, like at 6:30 instead of pushing it to 7.
Yeah.
That way we can be done maybe 7:30 or 8, and if people have other things to do before they have to go to work the next day or whatever.
Definitely. And I always like giving people time back in their meetings. And another approach that we can do, we can send out the bylaws to you. You guys can print it out, mark it up, and then the 23rd, we can just discuss it. Everybody come with their notes, your thoughts, opinions, and I think that'll be way more efficient.
Yeah, sounds good.
We'll send the Word version because that'll be helpful for people electronically.
Yep. See, now we just saved a bunch of emails. We just coordinated and got it together. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank
Pierce,
you
you have something to say?
No, I'm sorry. My hand was just still raised from the last one.
Okay. Yes. Perfect. So.
See, and Nia was agreeing down there. I saw her doing the snap. She's like, yeah, you guys made a decision. Go for it.
Yeah. I'm a strong advocate of, this could have been a text message or this doesn't have to be a meeting. Send it in an email or we can just figure it out right then and there. So Luis, since my committee was able to, decide, I'm going to pass it back to you. But, obviously there's a bunch of people missing today. So, we have to reach out to them and we'll give them the option to see, who wants to join what, but we have to make sure, it's equally yoked on each side.
Yeah. So I think the people that were here today and decided which committee they wanted to be part on, they'll automatically just go to that committee, and then we could potentially see how many people you currently have, and see how many more spots open are within the bylaw committee, and then we can shift the rest of the people automatically to the survey committee. I think that'd be way more efficient.
I think you got some hands up.
Yeah, I see Michelle and I see Jalil. So. Jalil, Michelle, you can go first, and then Jalil.
Okay, thank you. Louise, I had a quick question for you. So, in regards to the survey, right? At the end of the school year, everyone gets this email with the Scholastics. I think is it Scholastics it's some sort of survey they want you to do.
Mhm.
And it's just saying about the environment and all that stuff. Is it kind of like that?
The
Is that what the
holistic
survey?
survey?
Ye-
Yeah.
Yeah, so I believe that survey is done by your institution.
Okay,
So
so that's
it, per
separate.
per this case, it will be like CT State. They got
Mm-hmm.
that data and they utilize it for their own like research purposes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what faculty is doing well? Uh, where can we better serve our students? That's more institutional, and each institution has a different system for it. So the state universities, each state university is completely different from each other
Right.
in a way to gather that data. So unfortunately, to gather all of that will be a massive test.
Right.
So
Right.
it is a little, it's gonna be different to
Okay.
answer your question.
Also, I have, I'm sorry to cut you off. I have a set of questions that
Mhm.
at my school we did a student forum. I forgot what day that was. We did it like at the end of the school year or the beginning of the school year last semester. And we just asked the kids like what do they want to see and stuff like that. Like what is the problems in the school or whatever. I could also send you that information.
That'd
Because I
be
have a
great.
list. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
That'd
I'll
be
do
great.
that. Yeah.
I think the yeah, I'm gathering different perspectives to kind of get an idea. Okay, these are where the needs are to better like narrow down those questions. So that way, if we ask the right type of questions, we'll get the answers that we're looking for. So that way we can advocate for the needs that each campus potentially might have. So the reason why we decided to do this system why is because a lot of campuses, although very different demographically wise, location wise, uh, and all other aspects, a lot of the campuses have very like overlapping issues that potentially are the same. So we wanted to kind of see, okay, if half of the campuses are have the same issue, how about we all focus on that issue and make sure that at least half of the campuses are taken care of and our students are being successful. So that's kind of which is this is going for it. No, Jaleel, you had your hand up.
Yeah, mine is regarding to the bylaw committee. I heard earlier in the meeting that there was some suggestions that was already out there for the bylaws, like something. Yeah. So can I get like a little bit more about that, or is that going to be in an email that's going to be sent to us after, or?
So I believe I have the sheet of paper, like kind of like the suggestions that we kind of saw.
Mm.
I can forward that to Cheyenne, and then she can share it with the committee. That way, you guys have that information as well.
Yeah, definitely. We have, an ongoing document with our, already suggested suggestions, but we don't want that to, cloud your judgment when you look at the document. Like, we need fresh eyes on this, if that makes sense.
Some of it is systemic changes, like CT State technical colleges or the Connecticut technical colleges. That has to be changed because it's now CT State. It's called a different name, it's accredited differently. That's a change that can just be made and doesn't need approval because it's a name change with the accreditation body. So that's one thing that's easy. Quorum, that's a discussion that you as a team have. Um, Election stuff you can discuss as a team. Is the elections the way the elections are? Do those work the way you want to? So I would go section by section, but there's certain things that are just name change stuff because of updating from 2013 and things are called differently in the system. And I think the last thing I want to say about bylaws, I'll send the Word document to Cheyenne and Louise so they get you the Word document. But I think it's up to you to decide what you want in your bylaws to govern your group and what's going on. And one last thing about the survey. The survey is for us to figure out what's going on with students. When I sit in system office and I used to work at CT State on the merger stuff, there was a lot of information that came to us about what students were worried about or having issues with. But I couldn't tell you if those were real, if they were pervasive, if it was just a couple students that were having those issues, or if it was like mass issues. Does that make sense? Like, I didn't
Mhm.
know if it was like just a couple students and it was very subjective, or if it was more of a global issue that was happening to many of our campuses. So by doing a survey, you're getting more voices and it's less subjective. And I think that that's one of the great things about surveying students properly is you're really getting a picture. One example is people in my office when I was at CT State were like, all the students want online classes. And then when I go to the campuses and I would meet with students or student governments, they were like, we actually want more in-person classes. We miss being in classrooms with other students, but we like some online classes. So the narrative changes campus to campus, and every student has preference. But I think we need to ask students what they really want and what's really not going well on their campuses so we can make those improvements systematically. So I just wanted to share that. I don't want to make decisions, and the system doesn't want to make decisions on a couple of voices, but rather more global voices. So I just wanted to touch on that because I thought it was really important. That's one example, the modality thing, but there were other things. Like some students said they had enough resources for food, and other campuses said they did not. So it depends on the campus. It also depends on the student you talk to.
Agreed. Awesome. So far I have Dakota that wants to be part of the survey committee. Me and him are gonna get this done. But I think Madison Cheyenne, she previously emailed me today, mentioned that she has some family issues and wasn't gonna be able to come to the meeting.
Okay.
But she mentioned, let me double check, make sure I'm not giving you the wrong information, that she would be interested in the bylaw committee.
Oh, okay, I'll write her down.
And she's a SAC delegate from Eastern Connecticut State University.
Got it. Perfect. And guys, with the survey, we want you obviously to take it. And when you take it, please do not hold back. Be honest.
Yeah. Piers, you have your hand up?
Yeah, thanks, mate. Would you be willing to jot me down for the survey committee as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm realizing you guys are low on numbers, and I'm happy to make the extra commitment if that's what it takes.
Awesome, Piers. And same thing with you, Dakota. I'll make sure that you guys get the project experience from this, and you guys take full credit for all your efforts as well. I'm just the vessel and trying to get this started and organized, but at the end of the day, you guys are the ones who are gonna help this become a reality. So appreciate you guys' help.
100%. And Luis, the nerd in me, I'm probably gonna be nosy in the survey stuff anyways. So
yeah, I was gonna do the same thing with the bylaws.
And I have a big background through my PhD work doing surveys and systematic surveys. So if I can be helpful in any way, of course, I will be supportive as you develop these efforts. But I want first the students to talk about the areas they want to focus on, and then the development of the actual survey, et cetera. I can be helpful with that process.
Perfect. So I'm gonna send an email out, hey, to all the SAC. If you guys picked a committee, completely disregard that, but it'll be more targeted to the ones that didn't pick a committee. Cheyenne and I will talk about how many people each committee has, and then we'll be okay, there's one spot available for bylaws, and then the rest for the survey committee. Unfortunately, that's kind of how things unfolded. So since you guys were here today in the meeting, I believe that you guys should get the opportunity to decide what you guys want to do. Donna, you have your hand up, and I don't know if Pierce, you have your hand up as well.
I would just suggest when you send the email out to the other folks that weren't here today, you can mention, hey, if you want to join the bylaws group, here's the date and time it's meeting. I think you should pick a date and time for the survey committee as well, because that way, again, people know what they're committing to. Because if they've got other things in their schedule and they go, hey, you pick Thursday night, doesn't work for me. Or if you pick Saturday, great, that works for me. They at least know what they're committing to. But if you just say, hey, join this committee, you're not going to have people want to join because they don't know.
Yeah, I agree. And that's exactly where I was going to after this.
So I think you and Pierce pick what works for you.
And Dakota, yeah.
They can jump on board with what you've picked.
So Pierce, I know you mentioned Dakota. How's your schedule looking like? I'm gonna be honest with you guys as well. My schedule is looking very rough as of right now for the coming semester, but I have availability. Let me double check.
And if you guys could potentially get together prior to the semester starting to knock some of this out, it might be easier with your schedules before classes start. Just a suggestion.
So for this month, it looks like Fridays are open. I know, Piers, you can do Fridays. And then Mondays, I have Mondays available. After, it would be after either before, yeah, it would be after 5 for until 6, it looks like. And then Fridays, I'm pretty much available all day. The rest of the days, it looks like I have like either club commitments, class commitments, or work commitments. So any of those days work with you guys?
This is a stretch, but I'm willing to make another compromise. Would a Friday morning be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm free on Mondays until 8 o'clock. Actually, that's a lie. I'm sorry. That's wrong. I I have class on Mondays from 12:30 to 12 to 1:30, somewhere in the noontime area. Otherwise, I'm free on Mondays. Besides that, and until 8 o'clock. Fridays, I'm free.
Awesome. So it looks like Friday morning will work. Appreciate your
Awesome.
compromise, Pierce. Friday morning. What time in the morning will be better for you?
Not extremely early. I mean,
Does 9, 10 a.m. work?
Yeah.
10 a.m.
10 works.
Could we do 10? That would be best. Yeah.
I can do 10.
10 it works. So perfect. We will do Friday morning, 10 a.m. And then we can start any of these coming up Fridays that we have available. I don't see, unless I have a board meeting, I don't see there being an issue.
What day is it?
The 10th.
Friday, today's the 10th. So I do see that for next, right? No, that's on Thursday.
What's the date
Oh, for the
The
next meeting?
for the survey
Yeah,
group?
so-
What time were you guys looking? What day? The 23rd?
We can meet next week. It looks like I have a student advisory committee. Like, do we have another student advisory committee next week, Tim?
No, that's this week only. Next week is
Alright, so
not
that-
student advisory. That was an error in the schedule.
So
Okay,
I
so
have
that's
the
not-
next 3 Friday mornings off for what it's worth. I'm
Perfect.
pretty flexible for that.
Do you guys want to do next week, Friday the 17th?
Sure.
Perfect.
I would be more comfortable doing it the week that follows it.
So that would be the week
24th?
of.
Yeah, that would be easier. Is that okay with you guys?
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
So so I'm gonna send you guys the invite right now.
Cool.
I'll send them later, actually.
Cool.
Friday mornings. We agree on the 24th, and then I'll send you guys the invite. And then another thing in the agenda that we had that we kind of wanted to touch bases on was potentially doing the SGA kind of leadership conference. I know what's it called? Aliyah, she has more information. I know a student at Central has been working on this task, specifically trying to get all the SGAs on board to do like a leadership conference at Central. And I know they're working the details out. So I don't know if Aliyah, you have any details in regards to that currently that you would like to share to the rest?
Yeah, so our SGA has been kind of working, our social committee specifically has been working on trying to get an SGA leadership summit going, just to kind of meet other people from different schools and see how they're best serving the community and what their struggles may be with, like, getting SGA in front of their students and knowing that they're there to help them. So as of right now, we have a plan to have a summit on February 22nd, which is a Saturday, I believe. Yes, a Saturday here at on Central's campus. For a kind of like a full/half day, 11 to 5 p.m. With different icebreakers, workshops, keynote speaker, and then a networking event allowing students kind of, again, talk to each other and see where their kind of issues or like where they're struggling on their SGA, on their campuses, and how we may have different solutions for different problems to kind of, connecting and trading secrets. Yeah. So, and as of right now, we have about, I want to say 6 or 7 schools confirmed to attend, Southern, Eastern, Central, and Western. And then Connecticut College, Albertus Magnus, and University of Bridgeport. So if your campus is or school is not on here and you're like looking to join, definitely you can email out to me or Luis, and we'll get into connection about kind of putting you guys on the roster.
Yeah. So this is kind of like SAC is kind of serving as like a supporting their effort to get all the SGAs together across the state. So I think this is a great initiative that kind of the social committees from the SGA at Central kind of started in the beginning of the last fall semester and has been working diligently throughout the year to get going. So I think this could be, even though this is going to be the first kind of like leadership conference done kind of system wide, we're hoping that we can get a big turnout, and at the end of the day, it's going to be a great networking opportunity, meet students from different campuses and universities that kind of have similar interests. So it can be a great opportunity. So if you're not part of it yet, I highly suggest sign up your SGAs and talk to your student activities directors to get on this.
Is there a formal like advertisement that I could share with all the student activities directors across the system, Malia? Like,
as of right now, there is not, with the students still being on break and things like that. We
Okay.
should have one like in the next like week or so. So I'll definitely send that out to you when we get it.
Okay. And it's open to any SGA officer at any campus within our system?
Yeah, so I think as of right now, our SGA has kind of been reaching out specifically to the e-board just to kind of, we don't know how large or small SGAs are across the state. So as of right now, it's open mostly to our e-boards, but definitely open to if any other members want to join. We're as of right now trying to get a head count to kind of see if we need bigger spaces or, more accommodations and things like that. So the earlier they reach out, the better. So definitely you could send them my information and we can go from there.
Yeah,
And
if you
I
could
can
get me
forward
more
you-
formal info, I'm happy to share that with all the student activities directors and give them the heads up. And then they'll then share it respectively with their SGAs properly. We may have students that need transportation or support with that. So I want to be cognizant of that and supporting that as well.
All right, perfect. I'll let you know when we have more.
Thank you. My
Perfect.
SGA,
And,
they love flyers. So if you can get a flyer over.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
I was gonna say that next. Actually, I was gonna ask
Same
you
as well.
flyers, something like that. So, hey, once you get more information, would you mind forwarding that to me, or I can send you an email after this meeting?
Perfect. So what I'll do is, Aliyah, I'll share everyone's emails with you. That way you can delay the information to the student reps as well as Tam. I'll send Aliyah's email to you as well. That way you guys can connect. And I think this is a great opportunity. And SAC was looking to do something similar to it, but since Central is doing something similar already, I figure like why not just join efforts and try to make this a successful event since there was already preparations towards it. So looking forward to that as well. I think that's something that we can look forward to. And I don't think there's been something similar to it since I've been a student. So this is something exciting. So
yeah, definitely. The students, we have COSCA, like the bigger, kind of nationwide conference for SGAs, and they wanted to kind of narrow it down to, Connecticut SGAs. And, we are in a specific part of the world dealing with our own issues in our own state. So they really wanted to have something more localized. And then there was a question if February 22nd is definitely confirmed. As of right now, yes, it is confirmed. Depending if we get like an influx of numbers between, now and kind of like we're getting closer to the event, we might need more space, so it may change depending on like just availability of space. But as of right now, 22nd is confirmed.
perfect.
Thank you, Aaliyah.
No
So
And then-
we are.
Yeah, I think we kind of covered what we need to cover without a quorum, and we actually got a lot done, which is great.
We did. So I'm looking at the agenda right now, and we are perfectly on time to hand the floor over to Tam to speak about legislative.
Nia,
Or do you want to talk about it?
Not by any chance? Okay, cool.
No.
I just wanted to share that the legislative team has started at the Capitol. So the folks that came to talk to you already at our last meeting with Chancellor Chang, session opened on Monday of this week. So they've already been at the Capitol, running around, already starting. And so there's a lot going on, and it'll obviously continue. And they're at the legislative building every week from now until session closes, which is typically like May and early June. So there will be a lot going on with legislative session. What they're going to do for me is by the start of the semester, they're going to get some guidelines for students for how you can engage with legislative session on your campus and with your SGAs. So it will be ways to write your legislators. It'll be ways to send emails. It will be who are your legislators and who should you be reaching out with based on the area of your campuses. They will be sending you sample letters. They will be sending you sample information, and they will also be seeking student voices to join them at various legislative breakfasts that will be happening on your campuses as well. So more to come on that, but I just wanted you to know that that was going to come as more of a package for all of you to understand what's coming next with legislative session. So just stay tuned, but that will be to you by probably towards the end of January. But the session just started, so they wanted to get the session started, get to the legislative building, and find out what they actually needed from students for support. And so that information is forthcoming.
Thank you,
We need
Thank
Tam.
your
you.
voices.
I
And
saw
the hope is to ask for not just what we need, but what we really want and need for students to be successful on our campuses. So that is the goal of the legislative team, and they work around the clock for students. And I don't think anybody ever sees the work that they do. They do a lot of work. They sleep in the Capitol, they sleep in the legislative buildings, and they talk to legislators day and night. They go and have coffee and lunch and go and find people around the state to talk to about our system and what our students need to be successful. So they have a very hard job, and they're doing a really good job already.
perfect. I saw Rebecca just join. So Rebecca, I don't know if you can hear me, but we kind of just went over the committees, potentially, not potentially, having a student, an SGA summit. So do you had any interest of potentially joining any of the committees previously listed? We have the survey committee and the bylaw committee.
I'll definitely want to learn more and hear more and try to help for sure.
Yeah, so I'll give you a quick rundown. I'll send an email as well. The survey committee is kind of looking to narrow down the subjects to better assess kind of what are the student needs across the system. And then the bylaw committee is looking to update and change some of the language to make sure that we're updated to the current year, as well as potentially build a very strong foundation for the system later on. So I think the bylaw committee it's almost full. So if you want to serve in the bylaw committee, you can. And then we have space in the survey committee as well.
Sounds great. Send me that email and I'll talk to my club advisor as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
And sorry for joining late. Thank you.
Rebecca, what campus are you with?
Norwalk Community College.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Of course. Thank you.
Perfect. So with that being said, anything else we want to touch on, Cheyenne?
We have 3 more things, but 2 technically. So bringing up our SGA visits, getting that on the docket with each school. The group me, I don't think you mentioned that yet, or did you?
Nope, but I will attach that to the email.
And then next meeting date, which we already have for February. And then that's it.
Yeah, so SGA visits, we're sending out an email to each of your student activities directors to schedule potentially a meeting. Cheyenne and I have divided each of the campuses in half, so we're hoping the half the campus Cheyenne will visit, half the campus I would visit. So we're hoping that we can meet you guys in person and your SGAs, to we can better advocate for you guys and hear your perspectives and meet your campuses as well. And then be on the lookout for that. We'll coordinate that with your student activities directors to make sure that it's a day that we can gather as many people as we can. And then GroupMe, there's this application called GroupMe, part of the Microsoft. Everyone should have access to it. I'm gonna create a group chat, and I'll send everyone a link. You guys can just click the link. I'll prompt you to download the app and automatically sign you up for the group chat that we created. And then we can, within that group chat, we can subdivide to committees to have a better, less formal email communication format. That way, if we have any questions or we have any ideas, we can just type it in the chat, send it right out. No need to write a whole email to send it out. And I believe that's all I have.
Perfect.
One last question of the students from me. Is there anything from the semester or anything that I can be helpful with as the student success lead at the system office? Is there anything that you need help with on your campuses? Is there anything that you want to alert me of, that you need assistance with, guidance? I'm here to be your support at the system level for student success. So if there's anything that you need, and you can email me, or you're welcome to say anything on the meeting that I can be helpful with. I just want to make sure that I'm present and supportive of students and everything that goes on your campuses.
Hi, Tam. Can you maybe touch base? Did you say her name was Pam with the Regent's office that would help us with the bylaws?
I sure will. Yep.
Since we
that's
kind
an
of
easy
established
one.
like a Thursday evening, can you see if she's available in the evening that day of the week, or if we might
Yeah.
need to accommodate her schedule elsewhere or meet with her during the day? Then we would kind of know how to plan. So when we say, hey, we're done with it, we
Yeah,
can keep things rolling. I think that would be the only thing we can start with now.
that's easy. Pam and Tam talk all the time.
Perfect. We're hoping that would be the case.
And we have Cameron now, so it's Pam, Tam, and Cam. All in the same hallway. She's right near my office. I got it. Okay. Anything else for the good of the order? All right, I'm going to stop the recording. And hold on one second. Stop recording.